Every so often, we at Motor Week select a particular class of vehicle, assemble a variety of examples, and pit them against each other in an effort to determine which would be the best buy. This time, we've decided to look at the new class of subcompacts known as EconoSports. These stylish little coupes are designed to offer smooth looks and handling while still retaining the high mileage of the economy sedans on which they are based. But which one is the best one? We hit the road to find out. So we packed our bags and crammed them into our 5 front-wheel drive EconoSport coupes, the Geo Storm, Hyundai Scoop, Nissan NX 1600, Saturn Coupe, and Toyota Paseo. Keeping to the spirit of this test, we ordered each car with its base engine and 5-speed manual transmission. The choice to keep monthly payments and insurance premiums low, but fuel economy high. Then we were off. But since winter was reluctant to leave the mid-Atlantic states, that road we hit headed south. Our destination would eventually be Savannah, Georgia, and our home away from home, Roebling Road Raceway. But we diverted off I-95 for an overnight stop in Columbia, South Carolina, home of the sprawling and historic campus of the University of South Carolina. EconoSport coupes like our 5 are a hot commodity for new graduates, and we wanted to sample student opinion. Though based purely on looks and a few minutes in the driver's seat, we found our unscientific survey very interesting.
It's comfortable. I don't like the back seat.
Why don't you like it? Because it's not big enough?
It's way too small.
Going strictly on looks, I like the Saturn personally, and that's because of its more fluid front end.
It's down between the Toyota and the Saturn, because I like the Saturn because it's silver and because I just like Saturns, and I like the Toyota because it's a really neat color of blue.
You said this is the first Hyundai you've ever sat in that had enough legroom?
That I've really liked, yeah. The cockpit's set up where visibility's nice and feels like it just has a nice feel to it. I feel really comfortable. I don't feel boxed in.
As you can see, the students had a lot to say. So after our fun and our fill of grits and red-eye gravy, we drove the last few hours to Savannah. En route, we got a clear idea of how each car stacks up on the critical issue of fuel economy. Impressively, each car either matched or surpassed its government estimate. The Toyota Paseo returned a hearty 43 miles per gallon, as did the Nissan NX 1600. The Hyundai Scoop went 42 miles on a gallon of gas. The Saturn Coupe, with the most powerful engine in our group, tallied a bit less at 39, while the Geo Storm returned 36 miles per gallon. Introduced in the fall of 1989, the Geo Storm popularized the EconoSport Coupe class. It's the only one available in 2 body styles, and both are hatchbacks. This year, the front fascia was revamped, and overall styling is even sleeker than before. The Storm's base price of $11,330 is mid-pack and includes a stainless steel exhaust system. The most prominent features of the interior are the standard driver's side airbag and a large dash pod that houses a clear but sparse set of gauges. Seats are well padded with basic adjustments. We rate interior materials as good but not outstanding. All our 2+2 coupes have limited rear seat room, but the seat backs do fold for added luggage space. The Storm seat is a solid bench. At Roebling Road, the Storm gave a good account of itself, although in corners it felt very light in the tail and often took turns on the edge. Each of the 5 coupes has a fuel-injected 4-cylinder engine. The Storm's 1.6-liter unit generates 95 horsepower using a single overhead cam to drive 12 valves. 0 to 60 took 9.4 seconds, less than a second off the group's best. Brakes are a combination of disc in front and drums in the rear, and anti-lock is not available. From 60 to 0, stops took a long 146 feet, but with no unusual circumstances. None of our coupes have quite enough front leg room to keep from feeling cramped on a long trip. We rate the Storm's highway comfort level as average. The Hyundai Scoop entered our market a year ago. Its styling is more angular and conservative than its competition, looking a lot like the Excel on which it is based. While not a hatchback, it is by far the least expensive car in our group, with a base price of only $8,799. But that price includes key features such as dual remote mirrors and intermittent wipers. We like the styling of the interior, even if materials are again only average in quality. Gauges are big, but again lack the oil pressure and voltage readouts we desire in a sporty car. The front seats do have adjustable head restraints, but door-mounted belts make getting in and out cumbersome. The rear seat is a handy split design. Even with the optional 14-inch wheels, our Coupe did not warm up to our handling test very well. However, when the Coupe got in over its head, it safely scrubbed off speed with gobs of understeer. Hyundai's 1.5-liter single overhead cam engine was also the group's weakest with only 81 horsepower. Not surprisingly, 0 to 60 was the slowest at 11.9 seconds. No ABS is available, and the Coupe took a long 142 feet to stop from 60 on average. We did find the rear drums easy to lock up when cold. The Coupe did better on the highway, feeling quite solid, with its soft springs compensating for the group's second shortest wheelbase. Styling was our staff's least favorite feature of the Nissan NX 1600. While looks are a matter of taste, we still think it's homely. Priced from $11,470, the NX is a useful hatchback with standard rear wiper. A T-bar roof is also available. While Sentra-based, the NX's interior looks rich. Like the Storm, a driver's side airbag is standard. However, we were not fond of the 1600's confusing electronic gauges. Seat adjustment is again basic, but a tilt wheel is standard. The rear seat is a solid folding type. We love the handling of the NX 2000 we tested earlier, but the 13-inch tires and softer tuning of the 1600 left us flopping around Roebling's corners. We were disappointed. The saving grace, however, is the engine. A torquey 1.6-liter with twin cams and 16 valves. 0 to 60 was a solid 9.2 seconds, and the best engine in the group for city driving. ABS is not available on the 1600, and the standard disc drum brakes took 148 feet to stop from 60. That's the longest of our test. On the other hand, the Nissan's highway comfort, thanks to the soft springs, was at the top of the group. The only American car in our test is the Saturn Coupe. While closely based on the Saturn sedan, styling looks more like a Pontiac Firebird. Although it looks like a hatchback, it's not, and its base price is the group's highest at $11,875. But that price does buy a dent-resistant, rust-proof plastic skin and the most stylish interior of the group. It is the only one that has an oil pressure gauge, too. Too bad the airbag is optional, but a tilt wheel is standard. But only the Saturn had adjustable seat height and lumbar support. The rear seat is a handy 60-40 split design. There is no optional suspension on the Saturn Coupe, and it doesn't need one. Although not designed for a racetrack, our Saturn was nonetheless a pleasure to drive hard. Its character was precise, forgiving, and unsurprising. The Saturn has the most powerful engine of the lot, a 1.9-liter dual overhead cam motor with 124 horsepower. It was also the fastest from 0 to 60 at 8.5 seconds. The engine is, however, still noisy. You can order anti-lock, and our car had it. Stops from 60 were the group's shortest and surest at 123 feet. On the highway, ride comfort ranked second only to the Nissan NX. Rounding out our five is the Toyota Paseo. Its styling scored very well with our lot, who found it to be a neat, attractive package. Like the Saturn and Coupe, it's a coupe and not a hatchback. Prices start at $10,758. Only the Coupe costs less. The interior is straight out of the Tercel, and while that's okay, it looks less sporty than its competition. The deep hood does house a typical arrangement of clear gauges. The seats have good leg support, but could stand more for the lower back. Belts are door mounted, and the folding rear seat comes down in one piece. We've raved about the Tercel's handling given its basic transportation nature, and those characteristics carry over to the Paseo. Most of our staff found it to be a lot of fun to drive. Power is respectable with a 1.5-liter twin-cam engine delivering an even 100 horsepower. 0 to 60 results were 8.9 seconds, less than a half second slower than the Saturn. Its brakes also performed quite well. With no ABS available, stops from 60 took 135 feet, but the right front did tend to lock up easily. On the highway and with the group's shortest wheelbase, the Paseo had a pleasant but somewhat choppy ride. By the time we were ready to leave Savannah, however, we had a clear-cut opinion on the ranking of our 5 Econo Sport Coupes. 5th place goes to the Hyundai Coupe. We really liked its price, but weak engine and passive belts placed it behind our number 4 ranked car, the Geo Storm. The Storm's standard airbag and large interior neutralize its wanting handling and braking abilities. 3rd place goes to the Nissan NX 1600. Like the Storm, it has an airbag and nervous handling traits, but its highway ride and torquing engine were appreciated on our long trip. Number 2 in our tally goes to the Toyota Paseo. Its fair price and high fuel economy, combined with good handling, help compensate for a dull interior and door-mounted seatbelts. That leaves only one car left. Among our group of base powertrain Econo Sport Coupes, we like the Saturn Coupe the best. It excelled in interior design and overall performance. It is the only car in the test that can be equipped with both an airbag and anti-lock brakes. For a new car from a new company, it constantly impressed us. You might be wondering how our 5 Econo Sport Coupes compare with the winner of our Driver's Choice Award for Best Sport Coupe, the Mazda MX-3 GS. Well, none came close to the MX-3 GS in overall performance. The GS's V6 is quite a motor. Although our test winner, the Saturn Coupe, did very well and has a base price of $2,000 less. As for the base MX-3, we had planned to include one in our comparison, but the test car was involved in an accident before it reached us. We did, however, analyze it separately, and with its 88 horsepower motor, lack of an airbag, and $11,000 base price, we rank it just below the Geo Storm. What all of these Econo Sport Coupes prove is that you can indeed get a flashy, well-engineered car that doesn't forsake the tight budgets of young buyers. No wonder it is one of the fastest-growing new car segments. While these coupes may well be for the most fashion-conscious, they have plenty of backbone, too.